All right, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Back at you again with another video with some more content. I want to talk about R. Kelly again and the violations against him. I'm doing some research, a little bit of research lately, and I was thinking about Kim Fox and Mike Avenatti and the way they went about this whole, R. Kelly charging and this whole situation with them coming in the media and holding these little press conferences and telling the world that this man is guilty and that he's the worst person in the world, and it was so much prosecutorial misconduct with them. And basically, prosecutorial misconduct is an illegal act or failing to act on the part of the prosecution, especially an attempt to sway the jury to wrongly convict a defendant or to impose a harsher than appropriate punishment. As you know, prosecutors are bound, by sets of rules, which outline fair and dispassionate conduct. And the things that they did to dirty up this man's name and to dirty up this man's reputation, from coming in the media and holding the press conference. Kim Fox, first and foremost, they had that little backdoor deal. Okay, they had that backdoor deal, and that needs to be looked into, because we don't know exactly what was spoke about. We don't know how they, the plan and how they arranged all this takedown nonsense against R. Kelly, right? So Kim Fox, after the Surviving R. Kelly docu-series, she holds a press conference once again, and she's basically telling the world that she was sickened by it, and that she was a sexual assault victim herself, and basically solicited victims to come out and call a 1-800 hotline number so that they could charge R. Kelly. There was no pending investigations at the time. There was no charges being brought forth at the time. There was nothing other than allegations from Jimmy D, the Oracle himself, the self-proclaimed Oracle, Jim Derogatis or whatever, saying that this man was running a sex cult. And we all know that that was not true. Okay, and he has not come out to recant those statements. He has not been challenged on those statements. He has not been held accountable for none of the dirty articles that this man has wrote for the past 30 years about R. Kelly. Okay, then we got Mike Avenatti. He starts going in the media. They go that media again, and he was saying that they had all these tapes, and that the girl in R. Kelly is on the tape saying that preferring to her private as 14 years old. And then, Michael Avenatti is all on social media showing pictures of moles on somebody's back, calling R. Kelly a sexual predator in the media, calling R. Kelly a pedophile in the media, saying that he's confident that R. Kelly will die in prison and not see the light of day. It's just all types of foul play in the beginning with these two, to get the court of public opinion on this R. Kelly hate train, Kim Fox, after so-called recusing herself from Jussie Smollett case, drops all his charges, right? And refers to R. Kelly as a pedophile in these text messages that the media exposed. Once again, that's more dirt being put on R. Kelly's name. Michael Avenatti gets convicted, All the Cook County police chiefs, they call for Kim Fox to be, for her to resign. Nobody wants to talk about that, how they wanted to get her to resign. And that basically tells you that the way she's handling her operation, it's a lot of foul play in there, At least other authorities in Cook County and in the city of Chicago think so. And to make matters worse, not only did they do all this dirty stuff in the media, calling this man a sexual pedophile and a predator and all that, after charging R. Kelly, Kim Fox participates in Surviving R. Kelly 2. And
crazy.
I just don't understand how nobody is looking into that. You know what I'm saying? It's like this man's rights was violated so much.
Man, she basically said, everybody call in.
Yep.
If you don't have nothing, still call in.
Yep. And they didn't have nothing at the time. Nobody was trying to charge this man. I mean, the way I see it, if you're sitting there telling people to call a number, and they think that there's dollar signs at the end of the tunnel, why wouldn't they call the number and try to say that he did something to him?
But isn't it amazing that how many girls was on Surviving R. Kelly?
4, 5, 6, 50, you said. You know what I'm saying? They crazy as shit. I guess it was 50 of them or something.
30 years. 30 years. This man can have any woman he wants. And there's only 4, 5, 6, 7, 50.
Right.
Come on now, y'all.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
On, y'all. Come on now.
3 kids by 1 woman.
Come on now, y'all.
Don't make no sense.
None.
Examples of prosecutorial misconduct, everybody, is pretty much making statements to the media that can bring prejudice to the jury pool, you know what I'm saying? Or making inflammatory statements to the media. I know there was a situation, right, in 2006 with the Duke lacrosse team, you know, Duke University. And the Duke's men lacrosse team, they hired a black female stripper for a team party, right? So the black stripper, she accuses 3 white players of rape, right, at the party. So the prosecutor in the case, Mike Nifong, he drew enormous criticism for proceeding with the case despite numerous inconsistencies. For one, there was a lack of DNA evidence that linked any player to any sexual assault. And 2 of the accused had solid alibis. You know what I'm saying? He made inflammatory statements to the media, right? Inflammatory statements to the media. So, in time, the Duke lacrosse case collapsed. You know, all the charges was dropped. North Carolina Attorney General declared the players innocent, and the North Carolina State Bar eventually disbarred Mike Nifong for his actions during the case, right? So there's all types of things that can pretty much ruin a case that the prosecution can do, or an attorney can do, period. And the fact that there was no evidence in that case, and the fact that the people had solid alibis, for that man to be going all in the media making statements like that, that's what ruined the case for them. You see what I'm saying? And now you got R. Kelly here, who there was no evidence presented whatsoever in the beginning, but you got Mike Avenatti coming on here talking about, he calling him a pedophile and showing moles of backs on social media and all this. I'm just trying to figure out, how do they think that this man was supposed to have a fair trial? I just don't understand how they expect him to have a fair trial. I think that personally, that the state case was just basically, they used them cases, or the state case, to basically do the dirty work for the feds, in my opinion. Because there's no way that this man is going to have a fair trial. I mean, there's no way. The prosecution, to me, they've muddied up his name too much, where I'm just trying to figure out, where are they going to find some jurors that has not heard about this R. Kelly case? You know what I'm saying? It's like, where are they going to find them that they don't know nothing about, or haven't seen any type of bias coverage against R. Kelly in the media? I just find it hard to, you know what I'm saying, for them to find anybody, you know, some jurors.
She did it twice.
Yeah.
Who? She did that press
yeah, Kim Fox. Yeah.
Kim Fox.
Yeah, and we all know how many times Michael Avenatti, he kept on coming in the media, press conferences, even held one where there was nobody in the room, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And then was all on his social media making statements. I mean,
millions and millions, because Michael Avenatti was after Trump.
Yep. So everybody knows him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, everybody knows him, and I think that's how they wanted it. They wanted it where this man it's going to be hard to find jurors that don't already have their mind made up on his, you know, thinking that he's guilty. You know what I'm saying? Because when you feed the public the same narratives so much, basically calling this man a pedophile in the media and saying that he's guilty and he's been doing this for 30 years and this is who he is, and oh, he obstructed justice and woo woo woo, even though none of that has been proven in court. But you know, you would think that it has been, the way they constantly come in the media
on, you know, that type of platform defending R. Kelly.
Right. Nobody.
You know? Nobody's out there defending him like that.
They won't let him. They won't let. I mean, you got Attorney Greenberg. The best he does is go on court TV. I don't understand. He should be on, in my opinion, Attorney Greenberg should be all on CNN right now, all on CBS right now, all on MSNBC, all on Fox, basically saying how much violation has been brought against his client, which is that man R. Kelly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for some reason, you know, he's very quiet, which that could be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It could mean that the case is weak, which I think it probably most likely is weak. And they know that, you know, this is, you know, it's a weak case. So maybe he feels like silence is the best bet right now. But at the same time, you know, like I said, when you got them pretty much on every major news outlet, always, you know, putting that notion out or feeding the public with the narrative that this is R. Kelly. Remember him he married Aaliyah at 15, remember?
Yeah,
oh, yeah. He had a sex tape, remember? They're constantly throwing that to the public, you know, and now on top of that, the one thing that he had good going for him, which is he got acquitted in the 2008 case, they found a way to muddy that up as well by saying, oh, he obstructed justice and he sent the family out of town so that they wouldn't be available for the authorities to investigate, even though, like we all know, the trial was 6 years later. So right. I know they weren't out of the country for 6 years, so I don't know why they couldn't do their investigation. Right. The prosecution did not subpoena the girl. They didn't subpoena the parents to testify. None of that. They chose not to put them on the stand. Right. You know why? Because they were saying that it wasn't her on the tape.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And now they're trying to make us believe that, oh, now they're coming clean. So basically you're saying that they're admitting to perjury. They're admitting to purging themselves under oath. Is that what they're saying? Well, you know, we will see. Prosecutors are given discretion, right, about how they conduct their business. While some practices are not illegal, you know, they might not be illegal, but they, you know, may be seen as unethical and have to be, you know, in need of reform. You know what I'm saying? For example, right, tainting the jury pool with public statements. That's pretty much what we've been talking about with this video. Mike Avenatti, Kim Fox has done this several times. You know, they've tainted the jury pool possibly with these public statements, you know. And
that docuseries.
Yeah, oh, definitely. When she went on that I mean, she participated in the damn docuseries.
That's crazy.
After she had already brought charges on the man. She goes, this is the state's attorney here. This is the state's attorney. Not to mention, she told the world that she's biased already because she was a victim of sexual assault. So that shows that she was biased. I mean, this is ridiculous. And nobody, and these people, man, they don't want to talk about that. And that's why
this thing should be thrown out.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, at best, they got to get rid of her. They have to.
Yeah.
They have to.
I mean, that whole case, I mean, really, anything with her and Michael Avenatti. And from my understanding, Michael Avenatti is the one that had all the tapes, right? The so-called tapes.
Right. Then take him to the police.
Right. Took him to fucking, excuse my language, took him to CNN, man. CNN first.
Man, this whole case is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, public statements by the prosecutors that are either inaccurate, exaggerated, unsupported by evidence, or that could be admissible, you know what I'm saying, at trial. These such statements, you know, especially if they become promulgated by the media, you see what I'm saying? And basically promulgated, everybody, is the one definition for promulgate is to promote or make widely known. You see what I'm saying? Like an idea or a cause. These objectives have to be promulgated within the organization. Does that make sense, everybody? And another definition is when it's put into effect. You see, a law or decree. You know what I'm saying? A law or decree, I'm sorry. Into effect by official proclamation. Do you understand? So basically, that's exactly what was done. When Kim Foxx went in the media, right? She went in the media and she basically was saying how guilty this man was. And God damn, what the hell? Is it
paper on it.
is it still on is it out? Is it out yet? Yeah, my bad everybody. So basically, right, I didn't put the damn paper on the on the cigarette, and I'm just talking away, almost burnt up everything. Man, shit, this is crazy, man. But yeah, that's basically what Kim Foxx did. She came in the media and she made it publicly known that according to law, this is a guilty man, and this is why we are charging this guilty man. She promulgated it through the media. You see what I'm saying? And there's no way he can get a fair trial. There's no way. Because like I said, who hasn't heard about Surviving R. Kelly or the Gayle King interview or whatever the case may be, some form or another, or some part of this whole dilemma, or this whole saga with R. Kelly, you've heard something about it. You know what I'm saying? And they've been saying this man is guilty now for 2 years in the media, so I don't understand how he's gonna get a proper trial. Also, right, when prosecutors come in and they're naming a host of unindicted co-conspirators, you know what I'm saying, to intimidate potential defense witnesses with threats of, you know what I'm saying, retaliatory prosecution, that is a conflict in itself. And Michael Avenatti came on in the media once again and kept on saying, what did he keep saying, everybody? There are enablers. We are going to arrest all these enablers. You know what I'm saying? That is exactly what he did. He's pretty much naming co-conspirators to scare them. You see what I'm saying? And he kept on doing that, threatening them with prosecution. And he's not even a licensed attorney in the state of Illinois. That is just crazy to me.
Right.
That's crazy to me, man.
Now he's a convicted criminal.
Yeah, he's a convicted criminal, you know, and he's represented convicted criminals in the situation,
Exactly.
you know, and it's just a shame, man, when you just listen to these people on here and how everybody's just trying to tell on each other and stuff, when it's so many things that can be researched and so many ways we can try to help the situation and make it better for R. Kelly. But you got people on here wanting to be rats and wanting to take up for snitches and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is up with everybody? You know, people are talking about some go live and all that, you know, sending shots over here. But my thing is, why should you go live? Why should we go live when y'all keep on looking up each other's personal information and trying to snitch on each other, get each other locked up and hemmed up? I mean, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous how people are carrying themselves here on this social media, man.
You know, it's just time that all R. Kelly supporters get really focused and get away from that fakeness and all those lies that's been over there, and just focus on R. Kelly.
I agree.
And helping R. Kelly, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree
because
with that.
That's all that's over there is just schemes and, you know, money grabs, and you know,
right?
And you can see right through it, you know. And I think you just have to just get tunnel vision and focus on helping R. Kelly, because helping R. Kelly and the way he's been violated by the law, it will help us all. You know?
Definitely will. Definitely will. I mean, I'm not trying to live in a world where somebody can just say anything and accuse me of something. Next thing you know, my whole career gets taken from me, and my freedom, my freedom gets taken from me, and I can't even get a bond, and I don't even have a criminal record. But all there is allegations, and they won't even give me a bond. You know?
On national news, these officials on national news spreading lies.
Man, it's terrible, man.
It's awful.
It is terrible. But this is the problem with us, man. We don't. Um, in my opinion, a lot of black folks, man, we just don't. It's like they tell us who to be mad at. They tell us who to be mad at instead of us being mad at something on our own. We're told to be mad. Just like the other day, I saw a situation about this tiger in Texas, right? Now, meanwhile, they've been killing black folks left and right, right? The police, that is. A man has a tiger that he's holding as a pet in Texas, which it's illegal to do, and the tiger gets free in the neighborhood. And at one point, the police are called, and the tiger is walking towards the cop, and the cop, instead of shooting the tiger, he lets the man comes out and says, don't shoot him, don't kill him. And the cop did not kill the tiger. But meanwhile, you got cops killing unarmed black teens every day, saying that they were in fear of their life. But you're not in fear of your life with a damn tiger coming at you?
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And check this out, everybody. The dude who told him not to shoot the tiger is he's on bond for murder. He's on bond for murder, and they had a warrant for his arrest, and he got away. He put the tiger in the SUV and drove right off. And the police come on the news media talking about after a brief chase, the suspect got away. Nah, he didn't get away. You let him get away. You probably never went and chased him. But meanwhile, you got black people trying to flee in their cars on the news getting murdered. Do you understand? They're shooting them as they're trying to flee and get away in a vehicle. But this man with a tiger, for God's sake, gets away. A murder suspect. You see what I'm saying?
It's like, we as a people don't have time for the small stuff. We don't have time for small time thinking. We don't have time to be fighting each other.
Right.
We really don't.
Right.
And I know that a lot of that might promote, views on channels and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, if it's your time, you're going to wish that you paid more attention to what we should be doing to get us fair justice.
Right.
Fair treatment.
Right.
Well,
nobody cares until it happens to them. Nobody cares until it's them or their family, being accused of things, 30 years ago, and next thing you know, they're put in prison, federal custody for 2 years, and we don't even know if they did a crime, man. We don't even know if they did a crime.
Look back at all the attention that was paid to a person bashing supporters, a person bashing R. Kelly,
Yep.
Just attention that could be somewhere else. Helping black people, helping people of color, helping, get us out of this rut that we're in where we're getting murdered, daily.
Right. No, but, he didn't want to do that. He wanted to, he saw an opportunity, in my opinion, and he took it. He's been judging this man, he's been judging him. And he has people like him, you know what I'm saying? He's got a nice little base, and he could have been doing more to bring awareness for other things, in my opinion, instead of always trying to take down R. Kelly and damage his reputation and saying that he's gay and he likes men. That's trying to ruin his brand. That's just trying to ruin his brand. We know what's going on with that, and it's just crazy what they've done, man. It's crazy. And then the minute somebody reads his paperwork, now he wants to play the victim. Now it's such a problem. But you've been telling us to read for how many years now? You've been telling us read. And now here it is, people reading your shit, and now you got a problem with it. But you didn't think twice about, you raiding R. Kelly's paperwork all these years, adding your own little spice to it, your own little flavor to it, to make him sound guilty and to make it sound more worse than what it is. Instead of looking at it from another angle, But I get it, black people hurt black people, they did so much damage to our psyche, where it's it's still affecting us even today, you know, where we got this mentality where we just don't want to see no one else doing good, man. Here it is, one of our biggest talents. Our biggest talents. You don't see white people or Asian people in the media trying to take this man down. It's our own.
Yeah.
It's our own, you know, and that's how they do it. You know, it's always our own. You know, it was blacks that shot Malcolm X. You know, they hire our own to do their dirty work, in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
and it's sad. It's sad.
And we're still reliving it.
Still reliving it. Can you imagine the process we could have had if Martin Luther King Jr. wouldn't have got murdered, if Malcolm X wouldn't have got murdered, if Fred Hampton wouldn't have got murdered in his sleep, if Huey P. Newton wouldn't have been sent to prison, you know what I'm saying? If Tupac Shakur wouldn't have been murdered in Las Vegas, you know what I'm saying? How much process or progress could we have made? Nipsey Hussle, yeah, just as recent as Nipsey Hussle. It's so many positive voices in our community that make it to the top and have a voice and a mind that can change the way we live and change the way we see the world and change our you know, just make it better for us as far as decisions and helping our people, man. And they take them out every time.
Yeah, R. Kelly tried to keep his music. Well, you know, his music went global, but he did it for his hood.
Yep.
He did it for he made music for his hood, you know, for his people.
Right.
Even though, you know, it was nice enough to go global, which it should have went global. But, you know, he tried to stay in his hood to help his hood, and I just don't see him being the monster they're trying to make him out to be.
I don't either. I mean, it. Like I said, when you look at this man's interviews and just see how he thinks, and then when you think about all the positive music he's made, I mean, I just don't see how he could be what they're saying he is. Now, we will see when trial starts.
Yeah.
We will see. But I personally think that this is about his masters. They want this racketeering. They really only, to me, want this racketeering case. This is the case that they want to convict him.
Oh, they're not thinking about those girls.
Yeah, they're not at all. They want the racketeering case because that way they can get his shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is just, man, that's disgraceful, man. I know the dude, I'm not even gonna say his name no more. You know, I ain't even gonna be childish about it. You know, Larry, last week when he was talking about that Don Russell stealing shit out the storage, and he was trying to act like he was so distraught about Don Russell doing that, saying that it's wrong for somebody while you in prison to steal your shit and all that. But what's the difference between what we've been saying for months now, you know, for years even? You know, what's the difference? They you work 30 years, make billions of dollars for an industry, and instead of them giving you what's rightfully yours and following the law, which is Section 203 of the Copyright Act, they're trying to lock you up in prison forever and keep your shit. What's the difference? What's the difference from what Don was doing with the storage, allegedly, to what the music industry is doing to him? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Either way, he's worked hard his whole career, made billions of dollars, made hit records for himself and for everyone else just about. And in return, he doesn't get nothing in the end,
Right.
but prison time. They think that's right. They think that's right.
And we're supposed to sit back and shut up.
Yeah, we're supposed to just sit back and shut up. Now, meanwhile, here it is. Michael Jackson, magically, I should say, is murdered. All of a sudden, now he had a drug problem. Never heard of it before. Prince killed in his elevator in his home, man.
Never heard about him on drugs.
Never heard about him having a drug problem. Next thing you know, he has a Percocet problem or some shit they was trying to say. It's like, we got to do better, man. We got to do better. We got to stop letting them destroy our legacy.
And poor Bill
Oh man, Bill, come on, man. Bill, like 80-something years old, man.
I mean, put him in prison. You couldn't give him house arrest.
Right. They put that 80-some-year-old man in prison, man.
Blind.
For something that, when everybody who from that time period will tell you that Quaaludes was the drug of choice, the party drug back then. That was the party drug of choice. And and these women are going to his hotel, a married man's hotel at 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever, doing Quaaludes. I mean, we gotta stop letting them do this, man. We gotta stop letting them. They let us make them millions and millions of dollars, sometimes billions, our whole career, and then when it's all said and done, they destroy the image, they destroy the brand, and they keep the generational wealth and leave us with nothing. You know, it's really terrible, man. It's really terrible. But on that note, everybody, we just want to vent a little bit. You know, just a little bit of venting. That's all. Hope everybody stay safe out there. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. Have a blessed day.
Thank you all for gathering. The recent allegations against entertainer R. Kelly and the recent Lifetime docuseries are deeply, deeply disturbing. It is our job here at the Cook County State's Attorney's Office to investigate claims in the interest of justice and of public safety. I should stress that it takes the courage to relive and repeatedly re-experience trauma by telling your story of sexual victimization. But we rely heavily on victim accounts and witness statements to prosecute cases involving sexual assault and domestic violence. I'm here today to encourage victims of sexual assault or domestic violence related to these allegations to please get in touch with our office. The number to call is 773-674-6492. There are dedicated professionals in our victim witness unit who do this work on a daily basis and can work with you through this process. Please come forward. There is nothing that can be done to investigate these allegations without the cooperation of both victims and witnesses. We cannot seek justice without you. With that, I will take your questions.
Have you been contacted at all by officials in Fulton County, Georgia?
We have not had any contact with officials in Fulton County, Georgia.
Are you investigating claims against R. Kelly currently here in Cook County?
We have been in contact with those who have information related to claims here in Cook County.
What kind of calls have you gotten at your office, and have there been a few of them?
We have received a number of calls from relatives of those who have had people in contact with Mr. Kelly over the course of the last couple of years.
How many are you
Last 2
talking
years?
about?
Several years.
Several years.
So calls from relatives of people who have had contact with him recently?
Yes, concerns from family members regarding contact, their family members with Mr. Kelly over the course of the last couple of years.
Have you talked to Mr. Kelly about any of these allegations?
I have not.
Are any of those relatives looking for their loved one?
They are.
Can you say how many calls you're talking about, roughly?
I will say that we've been in contact with 2 families.
There seems to be a lot of fear in terms of connected people coming forward. Anything to say to encourage people to maybe step away from the shadows and maybe come talk to your investigators?
Certainly. I understand that fear. As a survivor of sexual assault myself, the fear and the trauma of coming and sharing your story, not just with one individual, not just with one prosecutor, the notion of having to come and publicly make allegations is incredibly daunting. What I will say is that if we are going to take these allegations seriously, it requires, this isn't one of those situations where it's just forensics. We need actual witnesses and victims to have the courage to tell their stories. If they have concerns about further victimizations of others, it becomes necessary to have the courage to come forth and tell what happened. We cannot do anything related to these allegations without the cooperation of victims and witnesses, and that is why I'm here today, to encourage anyone who has information to please come forward.
Have you seen any of this docuseries?
I have.
And what is your response? Thoughts, personal?
I was sickened. I was sickened by the allegations. I was sickened as a survivor. I was sickened as a mother. I'm sickened as a prosecutor. I worked in this office for a number of years, including in 2008. And so the allegations were not new to me. But I think listening to survivors and giving a platform for survivors to be able to tell their stories was heartbreaking.
So to be clear, your office has been in contact with 2 families who believe that, or who are looking for loved ones and maybe believe those loved ones have been at R. Kelly's home?
Correct.
In Olympia Fields?
Not in Olympia Fields.
In Georgia?
In Chicago, in the Chicagoland area.
And those loved ones, have they cooperated with the office? Not the family members who contacted you, but the loved ones who are being sought. Have you been able to locate or interview them?
We're in the process of trying to get information and conversations going with those who may have information. Again, why we're doing this today is to encourage them to participate.
Has there been anything on record from the complaints from the victims or alleged victims' parents that we saw in the docuseries that was at his studio at the time? Has there been anything on record in terms of the Chicago Police Department, having to go to the address because there is a wellness check that was supposedly done?
I've been in contact with the superintendent of police, who has indicated that his office has gone out to the location in question. Our office does not involve ourselves in well-being checks, so the information that I have has come from CPD that says that they had in fact gone out to do a well-being check.
Can you say the ages of the family members of two? Can you say the ages of the 2 family members in question who you spoke to?
The ages of the family members or so, they're over the age of 18.
The family members, though, not the, sorry, I'm confused.
The missing loved ones.
The missing loved ones.
Are over the age of 18.
And have been since they went missing.
Yes.
Are you cooperating or communicating with the Georgia State, Attorney General's office, who is also looking into these allegations as well?
I've not had any conversations with the Georgia District Attorney's Office.
Do you expect to?
If there's relevant information to be shared between our offices, we will in fact do so.
Is it your understanding there's a home there too? That he owns a home there too?
It was my understanding that he had a home in the Atlanta area.
So does this mean you're opening an investigation into this?
What it means is, in order for us to have an investigation, is that we have to have victims and witnesses who are willing to come forth with whatever information that they have. As I said earlier, allegations such as sexual assault or domestic violence require us to have someone with whom we can talk about what they've seen, heard, or what happened to them. And that is what we're trying to avail ourselves to those who may have information to come forward, to let them know that our office, that is what we're here for, to conduct investigations to see if there's sufficient evidence for prosecution.
Just from an
Last
education
question.
standpoint, can you, like someone that might be listening right now and they might decide they want to come forward, what's the process so I don't
Yeah.
my,
Yeah.
my identity or the people face a lot of grief when it comes to this?
Certainly.
How can you help them come forward?
Certainly. There's a couple of ways that folks can come forward. Obviously, they can call their local law enforcement officer, whether it's the Chicago Police Department or our suburban departments. Or they can also contact our office directly. We have our sexual assault and domestic violence unit. Again, that number is 773-674-6492.
As far as how they're going to be handled when they get there, can you give them some idea of what they may face?
Certainly. We have here at the State's Attorney's Office a very professional, compassionate unit called our Victim Witness Unit, who are staffed with men and women who have experience over the years dealing with people who have been the victims of crime. whether it's sexual assault or domestic violence or anything ranging to murder. They will then be in contact with the person as they come through. They will be patched through with a lawyer from our sex assault and DV unit. We also have investigators who are part of that process. And so the first step is to make the phone call. We can then get someone in touch with victim witness, and then the process within the office to get an investigator and a lawyer to look at the case will go forward.
Are any of the Chicago locations you're talking about on Ohio or Justine, as you recall?
I can't speak to that.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Anytime. Cards, anyone?
Thank you.
So you see, everybody, that is misconduct from the prosecution. That's clear misconduct. That's clear soliciting victims. Nobody was trying to press charges on this man. There was none of that, you know. So she took it upon herself to get this process up and running. Her and Michael Avenatti, I do believe, they did the dirty work, which is dirtying up this man's name in the court of public opinion.